When is it time to quit? A friend of mine who started a repair shop, and I'm not going to say where, I'm not going to say what the name of his shop was, we'll just say that it's not near me, decided that he had enough. He contacted me and he said, I'm done. I'm done doing this. I don't want to do it anymore. And I had invested in his business. It wasn't a huge amount of money, but I had invested it in his business. And I think that this made me neither happy nor sad hearing this news. I think that there's a certain amount of empathy I feel, because I realized that there was a point in my career where I had said, I do not want to continue doing this. There goes the towel. And like I'm throwing it in class. So the question is, how do you know if you're running a repair shop, especially if you're working on older cars, if you should keep going or you should quit? And I think that there are more factors than I can just do the work. There are a lot more factors than that. I also think in the modern world, some of this stuff is more of a problem and some of it is less of a problem. Now, how do we know when it's, a good idea to not continue with any sort of small business? First of all, you hate doing it. Step one, determining whether you are actually happy going to work every day, performing the same task over and over again, or performing one of the tasks in the business, and that thing's running, and trying your best to keep maintaining the same level of quality. One of my previous videos, I talked about this, how the end judge is often a person who knows a lot less than you do about what you're doing. The second one is whether or not the economics make sense. I think for my friend, he probably enjoyed the work, but the economics of where his business was located were not going to work out. And this is a big problem for people who are working on specialized vehicles. There is going to be a gap. It's called the 5-year gap between when you open the shop and people find out who you are. In those 5 years, you are going to struggle. You're going to struggle because you're not going to make enough money, so your expenses better be low. In my friend's case, he already had expenses of $5,000 a month after being in business for 3 years. I lived in a world when I opened my shop where that was not a thing. You could run a shop for a budget of $1,000 a month or less. I would go to Walmart and buy coolant and distilled water and mix them together to save money on coolant. I worked in a 3-car shop, not a 5 or 10 or 15 car shop. I was working on 3 cars by myself. Now, what was I doing in those 5 years? I was testing the water. I was testing myself. I was making sure that I could learn the material. I was making sure that I did not get in over my head. I was making sure that I understood the work before I expanded the business. And that's a big problem. And that's one of the reasons why I think that people who go into the automotive repair industry fail. Did you hear? I hope you caught that. Here's why they fail. Because they do not fully understand the work of running a shop, repairing cars, pleasing customers, writing invoices, maintaining a good reputation before they start expanding the business. They go in and they bite off more than they can chew. The biggest mistake that I think my friend made was that he erected a large shop on his property. He already had a small shop. The small shop could have accommodated a lift, probably a low-rise lift, but the thing was that after a year of doing it in the small shop with no lift, he needed a bigger shop. So he went ahead and he got a grant from his local city that his business was in to go build a shop. And there are some states that do that and there's some that don't. Like, I don't think you'd be able to get a grant in a state like Texas or a state like I don't know, Mississippi. I think in some of the northeastern states or some of the western states, there are plenty of municipalities that want to grow their footprint, and they're willing to give or take a gamble on small business owners, especially when those small business owners have not fully accepted the reality of running that small business. And this is where the big problem comes in. At around the 3-year mark, the 2.5 to 3 year mark, when things get to be the most difficult because you realize how much you don't know, how little control you have over certain events. My come to Jesus moment was when I had a car accident in a customer's car because I was testing the car late and I fell asleep at the wheel. And the first thought that I had was, up until that point, I was living like a vagabond, a happy vagabond. I worked when I felt like working, and when I did not feel like working, I would go hang out with my friends in other parts of the state. I didn't do anything bad. I didn't drink. I didn't use drugs. I didn't do anything stupid or reckless. I just had times as a young 20-something where the stress of running the shop was too much, and I could leave. I wanted to leave and go not work. And the thing was that I had kept my expenses low, so that was possible. Money was still extremely tight. There was a summer where I did not have shoes. I'm not joking, because I insisted on paying for all my own stuff. I did not have shoes. I had 4 mismatched tires on my 220D that was falling apart. I had let my registration lapse on my car, but I had a $150 car that was cheap to maintain. I had a $250 a month rent for a barn I was using in East Orlando. The problems began when I got into an accident with my customer's car and I had to pay for the car to be fixed, and the body shop ripped me off. And this is a real problem. Why is it a real problem? Well, because eventually you're going to run into a big expense scenario where you've made a mistake, because making expensive mistakes is part of the process of growing a business. And you have to figure out how you're going to pay for that mistake. And that moment for me was when I wrecked my customer Alan's 300D back in 2006. And I said to myself, maybe it was 07, I think it was 07. I said to myself, there's got to be more to running this business than just struggling to keep the business running. And it takes a long time to get to that point. So, you know, in my friend's case, I'd love to sit here all day and analyze what he did wrong. But I think that it's better instead to think about how difficult it is in this day and age to open a business. Now, in this day and age, you can charge $100 and change an hour, and that's normal at a repair shop. When I opened my shop, the norm was under $100 an hour. $90 an hour was seen as an exorbitant amount of money. I had to open working for, drumroll, $15 an hour, and then I went to $35 and people complained. I had one customer that said, I'm not paying my bill. You can just have the car. This is there are people out there that are trying to do this because they want to be in the automotive repair business, and my heart goes out to them because they're willing to give up a lot of time and effort and energy to make the whole thing work. You know, now my friend Jamie, who I extol quite often on this channel, Jamie probably did things the opposite way. He spent over 10 years researching how the business is going to have to operate before he left the safety net of a corporate job and created what I think is probably the most outstanding Mercedes repair shop I've ever seen. But in his case, you know, and in the case of John Woods, and in the case of Dean Lumbach, and all these people who have been extremely successful, they're not afraid to deal with the customer. They deal with the customer directly. They charge what they need to make. In my case, I don't deal with customers as directly as I should. And that's one reason that I almost got forced out of the business, because I couldn't deal with customers. And I think that my friend who closed his shop may have gotten a little bit of customer fatigue as well. Because what do they say? What does John Wood say? The problem with running a small business is the customers sometimes. I don't ascribe to that belief. I enjoy dealing with my customers, but not everybody does. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're considering opening a repair shop, I'm always here to help you. And for those of you that have taken a step forward and done it, you're making my job easier. because you're trying to fill the gap. In the meantime, if you love working on your classic Mercedes, that's what matters most. We'll see you in the next video.